So you don't like fuzz pedals? We need to talk. Hey guys, my name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to Gear Corner. I hear this quite a lot. People saying, whenever I try fuzz, I don't sound anything like those famous guitar players who are known and admired for their great fuzz tone. I just sound terrible, so I guess I hate it. Let me explain why guitar players might end up hating them, and I want to give you a few advices in case you're not super deep in this subject. In case you enjoy what I'm doing here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, and also check out the description box under the video, which is full of infos, timestamps, gear links, and my merchandise in case you want to support the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Before we get into it, I want to show you the rig. The guitar through the amp clean, then the amp slightly overdriven, and then a couple of overdrive pedals without the fuzz at this point. This is a very important reference when we're talking about fuzz tones. You will see later in the video why exactly. The first reason why people end up hating fuzz pedals is because they are used to a defined and tight overdrive or distortion tone. A fuzz is not a kind of a distortion or kind of an overdrive. It's just such a different experience. Even though you are clipping the signal, it's kind of distorting, but it's just a very different experience, and you should approach a fuzz in a very different way compared to overdrive pedals or an overdriven amp. Here's what happens if you try to use a fuzz the same way as you would use an overdrive. Reason number two, there are so many different fuzz types and they will sound radically different. There is no, this is how a fuzz sounds like. It's just not existing. It can easily be that you try 10 fuzz pedals and you will not like the first 9, just that last one. And because you have that 9 sort of disappointing experiences, like all those pedals you didn't like, you might just give up and say like, it's all, I don't like it. Even if we're just talking about one of the most traditional and simple fuzz types, the fuzz face type pedals can sound so different that you cannot even say this is a fuzz face sound. Depending on the transistor, it's a silicon or germanium, depending on the quality of the components, they can sound and react massively different. And it could easily be that you look for the perfect fuzz face pedal for the rest of your life. I've been looking for one for years, and finally I have two which I really, really like. One is a germanium, one is a silicon, but it took me years to find them. So yeah. And then, of course, there are all the different types of fuzz circuits and fuzz types. You'll find all the traditional classic fuzzes. You'll find gated fuzzes. Octafuzzes. Absolutely crazy fuzz harmonizers. Pretty and smooth sounding fuzzes with a germanium transistor, and modern sounding fuzzes for those who don't like that spitty, nasty fuzz sound. Point number 3, even the same fuzz pedal will sound radically different depending on the rig. If you play a guitar with a single coil pickup, humbucker, the output of the pickup, the potentiometer, if it's a 250K or 500K pot, the pedal board, if you're using an overdrive behind it, if you're using a wah pedal in front of it or behind the fuzz, if you're using your amp clean or distorted, these factors count so much when we're talking about fuzz pedals, and this can ruin the whole experience if you ignore this or don't get it right, and this can make you fall in love with a fuzz pedal and find your perfect fuzz tone. Number 4, you have to know what sounds good on the guitar when playing through a fuzz pedal. You should not stick to the same playing style as what you have when you're playing a distorted amp or an overdrive pedal or whatever. Just forget about power chords for a second, forget about palm muting and all that. Just try out single note lines, try out interesting intervals like octaves, 7th, 3rd, 4th, just nice jumps, bigger jumps than usual. Don't play the 3rd on the next string, try to put that 3rd on the octave, and all of a sudden it will sound super interesting with a fuzz. It just works differently. And if you experiment with octave jumps and like bigger single note melodies, like wider melodies, that all of a sudden makes so much more sense and will sound just very unique and inspire you to discover new kind of melodies and guitar techniques. And number 5, many of us guitar players don't think of like a modern huge tone when playing a fuzz or trying out a fuzz. Mixing more modern tones and super pretty and pristine tones with a fuzz, which is nasty and spitty and muffled and whatever. Think of Rabia Masad, think of Muse, the band Muse. So many examples, obviously, but we kind of forget about it. I definitely didn't think of fuzz tones mixed together with these kind of effects. Like a nice, I don't know, stereo delay or a chorus or whatever it is. In case there's a fuzz enthusiast or someone who has a lot of experience with fuzz pedals, please let us know in the comments below what you think is important. And I totally ignored and forgot about it. Something that you learned over the years, and you could just say like, oh man, if only I knew this earlier. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. In case you're a fuzz newbie, whatever your question is, hit me up. Maybe I can answer, maybe someone else can answer. I really appreciate all the conversations going on in the comment section, so let's keep that going. You guys take it easy. See you next week in a new video, and meet you down there in the comments below. Bye-bye.